The sun baked the quiet suburban cul-de-sac of Meadow Lane Estates, a neighborhood known for its manicured lawns and overzealous HOA regulations. Everything was neat, controlled, until Karen Holloway decided to make a scene. Karen was notorious in the community. She'd filed more complaints than anyone could count: barking dogs, kids' bikes left out, grass a half-inch too tall. So when the HOA security guard, Mark Benson, started showing up around her house more frequently, neighbors weren't surprised. What was surprising was what the cameras caught one Thursday morning. It started with a commotion at the end of the street. Karen's piercing voice echoed across the manicured lawns. "He threatened me. The deliveryman threatened me," she shouted, clutching her pearls and waving dramatically at the sky. Her neighbor, Jenna, peeked through her window blinds, phone already in hand. She'd been filming Karen's antics for months, part entertainment, part evidence for when the HOA board inevitably denied knowing her. Mark, the HOA security guard, appeared moments later in his crisp uniform, walking briskly toward Karen's house. "Ma'am, calm down. What happened?" he asked, glancing toward the cameras mounted on his golf cart. "He said horrible things to me," Karen wailed, staggering toward the lawn like she might faint. She glanced at Mark expectantly, a brief, almost imperceptible nod passed between them. Then, the performance began. Karen collapsed to her knees, sobbing dramatically, as Mark bent over her, muttering something too quiet for the microphones to catch. Jenna zoomed in, whispering to herself, "Is he helping her fake this?" Moments later, Mark reached into his pocket and handed Karen a small tissue packet. There, he said loudly. "We'll make sure he's held accountable." His tone was oddly rehearsed. Karen sniffled and looked up toward the HOA security cameras she knew were positioned perfectly to capture her victim act. But what neither Karen nor Mark realized was that Jenna's hidden camera across the street was capturing everything: the winks, the exaggerated body language, and Mark's subtle coaching. By evening, the footage was uploaded to a neighborhood group chat labeled HOA Chaos Watch. Within an hour, it had spread beyond the cul-de-sac. Comments flooded in, caught red-handed. "This woman again. Wait, is the guard in on it?" The HOA board was silent. The police hadn't yet been called. But in Meadow Lane Estates, the truth was spreading faster than any official statement could stop it. And for the first time, it wasn't Karen controlling the narrative. By morning, the footage had escaped the confines of Meadow Lane Estates. It had hit TikTok, Reddit, and YouTube, and the title was catchy enough to ignite a wildfire. HOA Karen guard caught on camera helping Karen fake a breakdown. Within 12 hours, it had over 2 million views. Karen woke up to her phone buzzing incessantly. At first, she smiled, attention wasn't new to her. But when she saw the comment section, her face drained of color. That fake fall was Oscar-worthy. Who's the guard? He's worse than her. Imagine paying HOA fees for this. Meanwhile, Mark Benson sat in the security office, watching the footage on a muted screen. The HOA president, Mrs. Callahan, stood behind him, arms crossed. "Explain," she demanded. Mark tried to keep his tone professional. "It was a misunderstanding. She was distressed, and I was distressed," Mrs. Callahan snapped. "She looked like she was auditioning for a soap opera. And you were feeding her lines." He swallowed hard. The HOA board had prided itself on optics, clean records, strict image control. A scandal like this was a nightmare. Outside the HOA office, residents gathered in small gossip circles. Some were laughing. Others were furious. "I knew it," said one neighbor, shaking his head. "They protect each other. Karen gets away with everything because she knows people inside." Jenna, the woman who'd filmed the video, was now local famous. News outlets were requesting interviews. She hadn't meant to go viral, but she also didn't regret it. Someone had to expose the nonsense, she told a reporter. Karen, on the other hand, tried damage control. She claimed the video was heavily edited. She even went live on Facebook. Sobbing again, this time without Mark's coaching. "I've been bullied," she sniffled. "People twist things." But the internet had receipts. Users compared angles, slowed down clips, zoomed in on Mark's whispered coaching. It was irrefutable. By nightfall, the HOA board held an emergency meeting. Residents filled the clubhouse, recording every word. Mrs. Callahan stood at the front, voice steady but sharp. "Effective immediately, Mark Benson is suspended pending investigation." As for Mrs. Holloway, the board will be reviewing her numerous behavioral complaints. Karen's jaw tightened. She stood abruptly, glaring at Jenna's camera. "You'll regret this," she hissed. Jenna didn't flinch. "I already don't," she said calmly. The HOA meeting ended in chaos, shouts, cell phones flashing, and the unmistakable sound of a community waking up to the truth. The following week, Meadow Lane Estates was unrecognizable. News vans lined the streets. Strangers drove by slowly, snapping pictures of Karen's once pristine home. She'd drawn her curtains shut. But it didn't matter, the world had already seen her. Inside, Karen sat surrounded by printouts of online comments. She scribbled notes, drafting what she called her defense video. She planned to expose Jenna and the HOA conspiracy against decent homeowners. Mark, meanwhile, had been officially terminated. His name was trending. 2. #Guardgate. He couldn't go to the grocery store without people whispering. The HOA had erased his access codes, revoked his badge, and left him to handle the fallout alone. But he wasn't ready to go down quietly. Mark called Karen one evening, his voice tight with anger. "You said this wouldn't blow up. You said it'd make you look like a victim, not a fraud." Karen sighed. "Calm down, Mark. The internet moves on fast. In a week, they'll forget. They won't forget my face." He snapped. "You're hiding while I'm the one getting dragged." Silence. Then Karen's tone hardened. "You helped me, remember? Don't pretend you didn't know exactly what you were doing." The line went dead. Across the street, Jenna was still documenting everything. She'd installed new cameras and even started a YouTube channel called Neighborhood Reality. Every update drew thousands of viewers. Her latest upload, Karen's Fallout, included snippets of Mark's voicemail, leaked from an anonymous source, where he admitted staging parts of the event. The HOA board tried to contain the mess. Press releases, public apologies, even an offer for Mark to sign a non-disclosure agreement, all failed. The story had become too big. Then, one night, an unmarked envelope appeared on Jenna's doorstep. Inside was a USB drive labeled HOA evidence. When she opened it, she found security footage from the day of the incident, unedited. It showed Karen rehearsing her fall minutes before Mark arrived. The clip went live the next morning. Overnight, it hit 5 million views. Karen's attempts at sympathy collapsed entirely. She shut down her accounts, removed her name from local directories, and stopped attending HOA meetings. Mark disappeared from the neighborhood altogether. By month's end, the HOA board had rewritten its policies: no more solo patrols, no exceptions for preferred residents. And as Jenna walked her dog past Karen's darkened windows, she muttered, "Quiet never sounded so good." Months passed. The viral storm calmed, but its echoes lingered across Meadow Lane Estates. The once pristine neighborhood now bore the invisible marks of a collective lesson learned. Karen Holloway's house went up for sale. The "for sale" sign planted like a tombstone on her lawn. She hadn't been seen in weeks, except for one blurry photo of her loading boxes into a rental van. Rumors swirled that she'd moved to another state to start fresh. But everyone knew her reputation had followed her. Mark Benson resurfaced briefly in a local podcast interview. His voice was tired but resigned. "I made a mistake," he said. "I thought I was helping someone. But I crossed a line." He explained how Karen had manipulated him, playing on his sense of authority and loyalty. She knew what she was doing. I just didn't realize I was part of a performance until it was too late. The host asked if he regretted it. Every day, Mark replied quietly. Jenna's channel continued to thrive, though she shifted her focus away from scandals and toward community reform. She helped organize workshops on ethical accountability and even joined the HOA board, determined to repair what had been broken. "We're not perfect," she said in one video. "But sunlight is the best disinfectant." As for the HOA, new transparency measures were implemented: public meetings, officer rotations, body cameras for security. What began as a viral embarrassment became a blueprint for reform. Still, some residents couldn't forget. "You can't unsee it," one man said during a community barbecue. "Every time I walk past her old house, I remember that fake collapse." One night, long after the noise had died down, Jenna received an email from an unknown sender. It contained a single sentence: "Thank you for showing me who I'd become." No signature. But Jenna knew who it was. She closed her laptop and stepped outside. The neighborhood was quiet again, not the artificial calm of HOA perfection, but genuine peace. A new family moved into Karen's old home, kids laughing, bikes on the driveway, neighbors waving instead of complaining. Meadow Lane Estates, once ruled by petty grievances and silent judgments, finally felt alive. Jenna watched them from her porch, smiling faintly. The internet had moved on to its next scandal. But here, the lesson endured: the truth, once caught on camera, doesn't fade, it reforms, reshapes, and rebuilds. And somewhere far away, Karen scrolled through her phone under a different name, staring at her past captured forever in pixels, a warning she'd never escape.